Welcome to MustLoveMMA.com and MMAFightFans.com. I'm Susan Tagori. This week on the show, we have TUF 19 contestant Mike King joining us from South Carolina. Mike, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
What has been the most surprising element about being a contestant on TUF 19 this season for you?
It's for me personally, it was the mental aspect of the sport. Being confined to a smaller home with 15 other, big personalities was something difficult to deal with. I thought going in it was going to be something easy, but it turned out to be the hardest part of the whole scenario.
How has being on TUF 19 changed you as a fighter then?
It allowed me to kind of self-reflect and go inside myself. Being with that many people, it's not a great or a positive situation for my type of personality. So it kind of taught me to kind of pull away from everybody and be able to self-search a little bit more.
In episode 3, what did you think of Todd Monaghan's sermon? Was it inspiring or was it just a bunch of BS?
That's an interesting question. For me personally, I come from a Methodist background, so it's the preachers tend to be a little less flashy. So for me, it was hard to listen to his stories about the Lord blessing him with jewelry and cars and things like this, because growing up as a kid, that was something we were taught that preachers didn't do. So for me, it's just a different style of religion, and he's an evangelical preacher, so it's a different style than I'm used to. It's not something I would do, but to answer your question, I didn't like it one bit.
Okay, spoken honestly. I appreciate that. In your fight with Nordine, were you surprised at how well he withstood your power punches?
Yeah, Nordine is a super tough guy. Out of everybody that was there were only a couple people I didn't want to fight to get in the house. Nordine happened to be one of those. We're managed by the same company, and I knew a lot about his background coming into the fight. I knew he was a really tough guy. I expected a 3-round war, and that's what I ended up getting. On the flip side of that, though, getting to fight that type of fight in front of Dana and the other coaches and the media was a great thing, because then we kind of made our bones before we even got in the house. So as you got to see, Nordine also got signed to the UFC. He won his fight, even though he didn't win to get in the house. So it was a great scenario for both of us.
Now, you had a serious eye injury during the fight. Tell us what happened and how are you feeling now?
Yeah, I ended up getting I got poked in the eye pretty severely. I was blind for 4 days. My retina swelled up. They thought it was going to detach, so they put me on bed rest. I didn't do anything for 5 days, and the swelling finally did go down. So now, I'm back to full training. I'm 100% at this point. It was a slow recovery process and a scary one to say the least.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Listen, I think it's fair to say that you and Nordine, it's a real grudge match then, isn't it?
Yeah. I respect him now, because fighting that type of fight against someone, you end up respecting them. But not being able to finish the fight, maybe I won, maybe I didn't win type thing. So if we'd ever got to fight again, I'd take that fight.
How would you describe BJ Penn's coaching style? Early on, he pushed the team very hard.
Yeah. BJ's a legend. He knows what he's doing. So I can't really argue with how he was training us. For me personally, I'm a bigger guy. So I kind of pull back on certain things and don't train nearly as hard as he was having us, especially that close to fights. Also, I went to school in exercise phys, so I kind of knew that there was going to be an aspect of overtraining that was going to take place. And I think we saw that watching Tim Williams. He's probably the best conditioned guy on Team Penn, and he went out and he actually faltered because of his conditioning level. And so I think we all got to see, what training too hard can do to someone's body.
Which fighter on the Ultimate Fighter 19 do you have the most respect for? Which contestant?
I think out of all the contestants there, I'd have to say Dan Spahn. He's a family man. He also works full-time to support his family, as well as fights professionally. He's a true martial artist. He's been doing karate, or I'm sorry, Aki-jitsu. He'd be angry if I said karate. He's been doing Aki-jitsu or Aikido since he was 10 or 11 years old. So, I mean, he's a very accomplished martial artist. To see the type of discipline it takes to accomplish something like that, he's a multiple level black belt. And then the kind of discipline it takes to be able to raise multiple children. I think he has 3 or 4 boys. And so, I mean, this guy's plate's full, but he's 100% focused all the time. So getting to spend time with him was cool, being able to pick his mind as a martial artist, because that's what we're all trying to be, essentially. You know, we're not fighters. Some people look at us as just fighters, but I believe that we're living a martial artist type lifestyle. So you have to do all the extra stuff that comes along with it. So being able to pick his brain and see how knowledgeable he was at such a young age was interesting for me.
And then on the flip side, which fighter do you have the least respect for?
Not stuck me into that one. You know, I respect everybody that was on the show because I know how hard it is to try to attain the goal that we're all trying to attain. But just in terms of personality, probably the guy they call Gutter, who is Matt Van Buren.
Why does that not surprise me that you'd say that?
I don't know. It's just, you know, we're so different. So it's just a personality thing. It's not that I don't like him like as an individual, but our personalities just don't mix. Do I respect the guy? Of course. So I wouldn't call it a respect thing. But in terms of if I would hang out and have a beer with him, I'd have to say no.
What's coming up for you next then?
I actually I can't really talk too much about it because the show is still going on. But let's just say I'm in fight camp and I've got some things lined up. Once we're now allowed to announce everything, then I think it'll be pretty exciting for everybody involved.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No. Thanks my sponsors.
Okay.
I'd love to thank Miami Ford in Naples, Top Blue Kennels, and Titan Tech, and as well as Herbalife. You know, without these guys in my life, getting to where I'm at right now would have been very difficult because I haven't really had to work too much. So they've done a lot for me. When
will you be coming back to American Top Team in Coconut Creek?
After this upcoming event I have coming up, I'll be back. So probably like in 3 months, I'll be back down in Florida.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Mike King, for joining us today from Ultimate Fighter 19. Congratulations on your big win against Nordine. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel below and also check out our video news reports at MMAfightfans.com. And remember, every fighter has a story.